In this next mobile SEO video, we're going to talk about something called viewports. Now this is going to be new for a lot of people that are marketers. If you're a developer, some of this is pretty basic, but if you're a marketer, this is going to feel pretty technical for the next couple of videos. It's important though that you understand this, because if you need to fix a mobile website, you're going to want to know how all this stuff works. So we're going to talk about viewports and zooms, meaning the window that we look at a website through and then how much we zoom the content. And we also want to talk about some CSS challenges for mobile. So let's take a standard web page, and this example web page is just a basic web page. It's not meant to mean anything. It says example co. Well, it's got a little navigation, there's a little bit of content, and then there's a picture in the middle, and it's actually some wooden crates. It looks like Life cereal or rice checks or something like that, but these are just wooden crates in there. Now, this is in a browser, just a typical desktop browser, typical website. Now, if we were to open up a mobile device and open that same web page, this is what it would look like. You'll notice that that's the same website, but it's shrunk all the way down to mobile. So the text is smaller, the image is smaller, everything has just been reduced down. This is how a lot of mobile websites were when we first started having mobile devices, because nobody had ever programmed anything to handle a mobile interface. And so your natural state of your browser is just to reduce the size and fit it to the screen. That's not going to really work, because most users are going to see that as a non-functioning website. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to add a meta tag into the head of the document. So meta name equals viewport, and then it says content equals device width, and then the initial scale is going to equal to 1. So what we've done here is we've said the viewport is whatever the width of the device is. So that's the lens we're going to use to look at the website, but don't shrink it down. Make the scale 1. Well, 1 means 100%. So even though we're looking at this little website, we're still going to zoom the content to 100%. So we're only going to see a portion of it. So this is what that would look like. So in this example, now you're seeing the content zoomed in correctly, but all of it's hanging off the right side of the screen. We've probably seen this before. I think we've all seen a website where the content's the right size, but it's not being readjusted and formatted for our screen. So again, this still isn't a mobile-friendly website. Now, the next thing that we have to fix that will actually bring it into what we call a responsive design is to fix how we define our elements. So each little image and block and spacing and color on a web page is a different element, and all of those need to be told what to do. They need to be stylized. The language that we use to stylize is called CSS. Traditionally, when people have written CSS, they've just taken measurements and said, well, make the logo this many pixels, make the image this many pixels. So if the entire website is 1024 pixels wide, let's make the main image 800 pixels. And so everything was done on a grid, except for the problem is what if we change sizes of monitors? What if we change devices? What if we go all the way down to a cell phone or a mobile device? So that becomes a problem. So this is what the actual code would look like. Now this is a snippet of CSS. You'll notice at the top and bottom of this code it starts with the word style. That's how we know it's stylizing. That's how we know it's CSS. At the end it says /style. So there's carets, opening caret, closing caret, and it says style at the top and /style at the bottom. This is telling the browser that here comes some styling, and then at the end it's saying that's the end of the styling. Now what's in between it are what we call selectors. All of these are literally just selecting elements on the page and telling them how to behave. So the very first one says body. Body would just be the whole document. That would be the entire document that you see in your browser. And it says the width of your document should be 1024 pixels. Well, that would work if every single device was 1024 pixels. It's not. Now, when we started writing this code, and when I say we, I mean clear back in history, late 90s, early 2000s, most people were on a 15-inch, or if you had a lot of money, you were on a 17-inch monitor. Well, we don't really use 15 and 17-inch monitors anymore. We use a lot of widescreen laptops. We use a lot of, I don't know, 23, 27, even 35-inch monitors. We use a lot of different sizes, and so it's not right to say that a web page needs to be a set size. It needs to be a range of sizes, which means it needs to be more flexible. And so the proper way to code this now is to say body width equals 100%. So if we have a viewport defined as the viewer that we're looking at the website, and then we define it as 100%, it's going to fill 100% of the screen width. Now by using percentages, we can actually command all the elements to fit in as percentages. And so if you look down there a little lower on this paragraph, it says p.main img, which means image. So main image, margin left side 10%, margin right side 10%, image width 80%. So that one little piece of code takes our image and centers it in the middle of the page and makes it 80% of the screen. Let's see how we would adjust for a smaller device. So there's a second thing that we want to talk about in this video, which is called an @media query. So when we're working on styling, we want to probably have different styling for different sizes of screens. So what that means is a large 27-inch monitor that might be 4,000 pixels wide is going to need different styling than a small smartphone device that might need 640 pixels of screen and totally different styling. You probably have all seen this before when you take a browser window and you start dragging it and shrinking it down. At some points, there'll be breakpoints where you'll notice the elements on the page will rearrange and fit tablet size and then eventually mobile size. Sometimes the menu will change from a normal menu to more of those 3 lines. We call it a hamburger menu. There's lots of elements that can change as the website gets smaller or larger. Well, in this particular @media query, what it's saying is @media screen and max width equals 640 pixels, do these things. So this is a command for anything that is up to 640 pixels. And normally we would have a 320, a 640, 1,000 pixels, and we would have all these breakpoints. In fact, a lot of programmers will do 12, 16, or 20 different breakpoints and readjust the code based on those screen sizes. Now on this 640 pixel, it's saying make the body 100%, make the main area 440 pixels tall, so make sure that it's tall enough, and then the image width 100%. So it's saying at cell phone size, instead of that 80% with margins on the side, let's go ahead and push it all the way out to the outside. So let's see what that would look like. So right now we've got a cell phone image where we've got the main image of the website taking up the center portion. We've got the example co at the top, which would be the logo, being a pretty good size, and everything is fairly readable on the navigation. And so the way that we build a truly responsive website is by using these @media queries, where we can change all the elements based on the screen size. In the next video, we're going to talk about some user experience and some user interface concerns that will kind of tie into what we just talked about with viewports and zooms. And so UX, user experience, and UI are in the next video. I'll see you in the next video.